Hey guys, how you doing? It's Adam from ATP Powerlifting. Today I'm going to show you how to get that big bench press while staying pain-free. One of the number one things when benching for injuries is rotary cuff pain and some type of shoulder problem. All shoulder problems usually come back to weak rotator cuffs. Anytime you can get those rotator cuffs stronger, that's a better possibility that you're not going to have any shoulder problems. So let's get into it. Before we even start bench pressing, we're going to go into these rotary cuff exercises. This one's training internal and external rotation. Some people prefer doing cables or bands for these. We actually just do them with a 5-pound plate just to get pretty much, you'll feel like a little bit of a burning sensation. And once you get that burning sensation, you'll switch arms and go to the next side. Any type of rotary cuff exercise is going to prevent shoulder injuries. A lack of rotary cuff exercise is definitely going to cause injuries down the road, as it's going to be the weakest link, and your rotary cuff actually stabilizes all your shoulder muscles. A strong rotary cuff will keep you from getting many other injuries, including labrum tears. This one's training mostly external rotation. For me personally, this is the one that I really have to focus on. If I don't get this specific rotary cuff exercise and get really warmed up with this before I start benching, I will flare up my shoulders right away. You are training a little bit of internal rotation, but since gravity is pulling down, you're mostly only doing an external exercise with these. But we can go up to the band and end up doing internal, but for me, it doesn't really matter too much. Is it recording?
Yeah.
After we're finished doing the rotary cuff exercises, we're going to go into warming up the lats. A lot of people don't think that the lats are too important in the bench press, but this is a good way to warm up your shoulders without really causing any damage to them. You're still causing shoulder rotation by pulling in and extending, but you're not putting any stress on the shoulder muscles themselves. And getting your lats warmed up is always going to help your bench. It's going to help that eccentric or that negative on the way down. And if you can control that and you can go down a little bit faster, you're going to be able to bench a little bit more. So usually do about 20 of these, nothing that's very hard. We're trying to get as warm as we can while still not putting in too much effort. We don't want to put in so much effort that when we go to bench, it's going to affect our bench. We want to get as warm as we can while doing the least amount of effort. Do them until you get a pump, usually at least 20, 25, and we'll do the same thing going the opposite way before we even touch the bar. We'll come around and do almost like a fly / a press, coming in. Again, warming up your shoulders under a constant tension, but nothing that's going to strain anything. 15, 20 reps. And then I just do some bridges back and forth. Oops. Just make sure my shoulder can go through all its range of motion, pain-free. If I start to do these and I start to feel some type of pain, I'll either have to try to warm up that area a little bit more or maybe not even bench for the day, depending on how I feel. The next exercise that's a great benefit to your shoulders and rotator cuffs actually benefits your rotator cuffs and your shoulders greatly, that I'm guilty of not doing and a lot of other people are really guilty of not doing, are face pulls. Face pulls, you're going to be working on your rear delts, which is what every bodybuilder thinks that they're working on, and you're working on the rotation of your rotary cuffs. And doing this one exercise, you can strengthen the external rotation of the rotators. So I'll give you some of those. As you come back, you come up and you go into a double bicep position while keeping your shoulder blades back. And then as you're coming down, let your shoulder blades release. Come back, rotate up, shoulder blades back, like in a bench press position when you tuck your shoulders, and then come back down and let your shoulders release all the way. We usually do this for about 15 reps or so. Very under control. very heavy on this, and that's another great one for your bench press. My next warm-up / stretch for my shoulders is literally going to just be windmills. Again, I'm trying to warm up my shoulders as much as I can while exerting the least amount of effort, so that when I go to bench, I'm not making the bench press more difficult and overexerting myself before I have to get into the real work that I'm going to do. I'll go in both directions, 5 one way, I lost count. I hope that's 5 one way, then 5 the other way. Really trying to keep everything under control, not really just swinging it all around. Let it come down, control one way, same thing the other way. Don't let it just drop down. Control it on the way down and go all the way around. And then I might throw in just a little bit of side lateral raises, get warmed up a little bit more. I'll do that on both sides. And then we'll go into the next one. Now I'm going to demonstrate how, or actually he's going to demonstrate how arching actually saves your shoulders and puts less stress on your shoulders. So here we go. So let's first start off just flat back, no arch. On racket. And then just come down and touch your chest. And you can see he still has somewhat of an arch. Just stay there, because it's so unnatural for him. If you could tell where his elbow is right now, his elbow is actually completely below his body, completely underneath his back, and actually going below the center line of the bench. Okay, you can go back up. Whoa. So anytime your elbow comes below the center line of your body, which would be maybe about right here, you're putting a crazy amount of stress on the rotators and on the shoulders. So if we can build up that arch, we can actually limit the range of motion a little bit, so that when you come down and you're touching, your elbow doesn't have to come as far below the center line of your body, thus putting less stress on the shoulder. So we'll show that now. Now set up into your normal arch. Same thing, just go down and pause. As you see in this one, it's actually not, his elbow isn't below his back, and it's not below the bar on the bench, putting his shoulders in a much safer position. As a powerlifter, you want to limit the range of motion as much as you can. Now, when I get on the bench, by IPF and most federation standards, you can't be wider than your index finger, or pointer finger rather, on the ring. Now, you can go this wide to limit the range of motion, but if you have an arch, no arch at all, and you're pretty much flat backed, and you pick up the weight, and you come down with that wide of a grip, not only is your shoulders in a very weak condition as far as it has to go down, but your elbow is also very below the center line of your body, putting it in a very stressful position. Now the same thing, if I were to go into a arched position, I can get away with being wider, because now when I come down, my shoulders aren't nearly as low as they were before, or my elbows aren't nearly as low as they were before, and that allows me to go wider, and allows me to limit the range of motion much safer. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative and that it helped some of you guys out with the shoulder pain you're having while you bench. Remember, trying to build that bench, but stay pain-free. We're in this for the long run. We're going to be lifting for the next 10, 15 years, and if you get an injury, you're really going to delay that progress. The more you can stay injury-free, it doesn't really matter how fast your bench goes up over the course of the next couple months. It's over the next course of the next 10, 15 years. I hope this helps you out. Have a good one. ATP out. Yeah. Woo! Come on. March, go. Up. I thought I like dropped my chest too hard and I wasn't gonna get it.
How do you feel?
Great. What? Because of the light, yeah.